Welcome to the NCS Extra Credit Short Video Series. I'm Marla Zerlo. And NCS Extra Credit is our short video series on different topics in the credit world, mainly focused on mechanics liens, UCC filings, and collections. Today, Amy Hunger, hi Amy,
Hi.
NCS Attorney Liaison, is joining us, and she is nice enough to discuss mechanics lien rights on wind and solar farms. Alternative power sources like wind and solar farms are becoming more and more prominent in the world. Wind farms are areas of land with groups of energy-producing wind turbines, and solar farms are areas of land with a large number of solar panels in order to generate electricity. It takes multiple contractors, subcontractors, and material suppliers to successfully build one energy farm. Securing your rights on a wind farm or solar farm may be as complicated as the actual construction of that farm. It is really important to know what rights one may have when determining whether or not to take on one of these types of projects. So Amy, is it possible to file a mechanics lien or serve a bond claim on a wind or solar farm project?
The short answer is possibly. It's a gray area as to the specific statutes and case law concerning wind and solar farms. Most states do not have specific wording within their statutes referencing these types of projects. There have been cases, however, that suggest mechanics lien rights are afforded to contractors, subcontractors, and suppliers who furnish material and/or labor to a wind and solar farm. Another avenue to pursue pertaining to a wind or solar farm is to find out if the project is bonded. It is possible that power companies and/or contractors contracting for the work required a payment bond. Typically not required, if bonded, the steps are significantly simpler for claiming against the bond. We are increasingly seeing more and more wind and solar farm projects, and recently we have had cases where parties have successfully filed mechanics liens or served bond claims for non-payment.
Okay. In cases of mechanics liens, what are the most common challenges that you see concerning wind and solar farms?
Some of the most common hurdles are identifying the parcel where the material was installed. Many of these projects extend over many different parcels, and in some instances, many different cities and counties. Because of the immense size of the farms, there may be as many different landowners as there are parcels. Title work for these projects may be extremely expensive and may involve many different title reports. In addition to the potential title work expense, it's also possible that multiple liens may be required. Another thing to consider is what might be easy in one state may not be easy in another. In states that require a notice of commencement, the energy companies may have laid out the groundwork within the documentation, identifying where the project is and the parcels and owners involved. In states that do not have notices of commencement, it is extremely important to know who is contracting for the improvement and where your material is going.
So Amy, have you experienced any of these types of challenges?
I'm glad you asked, Marla. Recently, we had a wind farm project in Illinois. The project consisted of 49 wind turbines and encompassed 3 townships, located approximately across 8,000 acres of farmland. Being able to pinpoint where your material is being installed is extremely important when dealing with the massive size of these projects. It may also cut down on the time and cost that could be incurred if a lien is required.
Interesting. What other things should be considered when it comes to filing mechanics liens on wind and solar farms?
Oftentimes, lease agreements will be entered into by the energy companies with the landowners. State statutes vary as to whether or not mechanics liens would be available against the property, the leasehold interests of the tenant, or both. We have also seen an increase in power purchase agreements, especially pertaining to solar projects. Under purchase power agreements, the solar panels and/or equipment may be owned by one entity while being placed on another entity's property. Where purchase power agreements exist, a legal opinion is recommended to ensure lien rights are available to secure your rights.
Great. Thank you, Amy, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Since certainly we appreciate you sharing your expertise. The takeaway from this session is when considering working on wind or solar farm projects, you will need to review your fiscal exposure and take the appropriate steps based on what your company is willing to risk. Contracts for these projects are typically high dollars, and an investment to secure your rights may be necessary to help mitigate that credit risk. Being proactive and not waiting until payment problems exist may help to reduce those high costs and time associated with securing these types of projects. This concludes this installment of NCS Extra Credit. Thanks for joining us today. We greatly appreciate your input and want to hear your suggestions for upcoming extra credit sessions. Please call, email NCS using the contact information at the bottom of the screen, or comment using any of our social media outlets. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.